Hello everyone, today I'm going to be doing analysis on the 21st century. First, let's have some context. Because we have to go back to the 70s. Because I'm not going any further than that. Because technically we could go back to the 60s, but getting to the point. The 70s and the oil crisis caused a similar situation to today where people didn't have certainty into the economy. So Ronald Reagan comes in and saying deregulate, deregulate, deregulate. And coincidentally enough, of the deregulations that happened during the 80s caused, well, a very quick economic increase or economic boom. The 80s were and are one of the most productive in American history. And thanks to the 80s deregulation and 90s continuance of that, thanks to the continuance of the deregulation over time, that caused banks to be cocky and give out bad loans. And then, in 2000, during the economic bubble, including the 9/11 attacks and also the election that was uncertain, would cause the government to want to make it more stable, meaning that it would lower rates to 1%, making it pretty easy to get a loan. But thanks to that, it made it so the conditions that were necessary to make the loans that made the 2008 recession happen started being done en masse, to the point where the 2008 recession would be quite literally caused by a interest hike by the Fed in 2006, thanks to the fact the interest rate hike hit the economy in 2006, where a lot of people got payday loan, not payday loans. What is it? But payday loans were a part of it. But the bad loans that were give me a minute. Give me a minute. Anyway, I'm doing this at 2 o'clock at night. Anyway, basically the bad loans that were given during the 2000 beginning of this century would have caused the 2008 recession. 2007-2008 recession that would hit this century like a truck, and basically lose confidence in the economy. And over time, that began to snowball. Because, well, other things happen, like, for example, immigration, the Arab Spring, and everything that happened in this century started to snowball from one thing to the next. And thanks to the snowballing effect, it's one of the reasons why people wanted change, because politics were getting stale. And, well, Big Orange Man and basically sickly Boris Johnson in Great Britain and other places had conservative and interesting politics. But to get to the point, the entire reason why the economy we have today is the way we have it is because of the fact that governments around the world were printing money like it was going out of business. And the fact that it is politically, suicidally impossible to give very high tax hikes to be able to pull countries out of the debt they have. Because, for example, in the United States, it is functionally impossible to get rid of that in an 8-year period, meaning it will become a bigger problem over time, especially because issues will pop up no matter what. And the fact is that we will probably not see a economic or anything like a boom, like Mr. Orange Man said earlier today, I think. Was it today or yesterday? Today. But I'm going to be recording this video in January, and this will be uploaded in February. Yeah, February. To get to the point, basically, thanks to the snowball effect, it would affect the economy by basically having big companies buying up a lot of housing. Normally, that wouldn't be a bad thing in those conditions, but the big coronavirus happened, and for the past 5 years, everything snowballed and had an avalanche that hit everybody like a truck, realizing how the situation was. And ever since the pandemic, I can tell you, the pandemic made every economic problem we had back then worse by 10 times. Because the fact is that back in those days, politics wasn't as polarized, and basically things weren't as bad. Yes, they were bad, but no one noticed until 2020, then 21, then 22, then 23, then 24, then 25, where 2024, and in my opinion, the next few years until economic stability can be reached, or we reach the 1920 or 1930s equivalent of the Depression of today. I highly, I'm not going to try to predict the future. I am terrible at that. But to say this, I suspect, thanks to these trends of unsustainable attempts of growth, we will go to a nosedive and have an economic recession or depression so bad that countries will fall. Or that is the absolute worst scenario. But with how things are, unless something doesn't change for the middle class or lower class, Luigi won't be the last man to do something extreme for the actions that have happened. And, well, yeah. This is the reason why the 21st century is, well, a century that for the first 25 years of it have not been fun. Well, it has been fun. I've been alive for 18 years of it, but still, to get to the point, is that the past 25 years have been having problem after problem after problem after problem after problem after problem. So unless we have a political and business wake-up call, because infinite growth is humanly impossible. And yes, I know I'm slightly diverging the topic, but the fact is, infinite growth is impossible. Anyone that says otherwise is an idiot. There's a reason why stagnation has happened. Because of the fact that stagnation is what happens when you reach a ceiling. Unless you make something new, or make something cheap, or make something new, or increase the amount of resources, there is going to be a ceiling to the economy. No matter what anyone says, there's going to be a ceiling at some point that is going to need to be broken through a new innovation or something, but it doesn't exist yet. That is the 21st century report on how we got here.